Hey everyone, this is going to be my second ever review on this channel of my boutique labels. And for this one we have another Arrow video release, and this is The Burning. This is a 1980s American slasher horror film, and this movie was a fun time. So, as the last video, I'm going to first give you a review on the film, and then I'm going to give you a review on the actual Arrow video release and all the steps and everything they do with this release. The Burning is an American 80s slasher directed by Tony Maylam. It had a lot of great special effects works by the great Tom Savini, who you would know him by the Romero Dead movies and other things he's worked on. This movie starts off like any other slasher with a bit of a cold opening, but what's fun about this film is the cold opening isn't for some random damsel in distress or some random couple at a theater. It's for the actual slasher villain of the movie, and that is very interesting because I've never actually seen that done. And from this point on, you follow the slasher a little bit without seeing his face. He's kind of just this dark figure that you're watching. And you also start to follow, years later, this new group who is at the camp where the original slasher was killed off, or burned as in The Burning, in the cold opening. And another thing that's cool here is, I don't know if any of you have seen the comedy Meatballs. It's very famous. Most of you probably have. But this movie kind of feels like that with the characters. All these characters are written very well, which is weird for an American slasher. You know, you've seen Friday the 13th movies, you've seen the Halloween movies. Besides like Laurie Strode and some other characters, they're very one note. They're not really well written. You're kind of rooting for the slasher villain over them. You're rooting for Jason more than you're rooting for the actual campers at Camp Crystal Lake. And here you actually form a relationship with the characters. You get to see different parts of them. You get to see different sides of them. They all have their own personality, and you spend a good chunk of the movie just hanging out with them. It kind of feels like an 80s hangout movie in the beginning, like a Fast Times or a Dazed Confused. And that is what I think really elevated this movie as for slashers for me. Like I said, the first half to first 2/3 of this movie is really about that character development, and then there's a scene on a raft where your jaw just drops from the effects that happen on this screen, and the movie just goes 1,000 miles an hour after that point. The movie gets absolutely crazy and brutal. You get great Tom Savini special effects in there. You get this great killer. You get this great little twist at the end. And when these characters die or they get hurt, you actually feel it. Where unlike, you know, most 80s American horror films, you don't really care. You actually feel for these characters, and you're rooting for them, and you don't want them to go down. And like I said, that really elevates this film for me. The special effects were insane, especially for the 1980s. They all looked very well. And being on Blu-ray, the camera quality was beautiful. You could really see everything that's happening. I liked how the slasher actually took place during the day for most part of the film, and not at night, so you could actually see what's going on. Yeah, I really, really loved this film. When it comes to the horror genre, I'm a horror fanatic, and my two favorites are slashers and zombie films. So when you can have a great slasher, that's right in my alley. I ended up giving this movie a 4.5 out of 5, which is a crazy good score, but like I said, a good slasher means a lot to me. Now, getting into the actual Arrow release of this film, here is the case. Again, I love these jewel cases, the thicker cases. They're beautiful to have on your shelf and to look at. This is mono audio. It is 1080p Blu-ray. And I've seen a lot of slashers on DVD. If you actually check out this shelf, there's dozens of slashers over there, all mostly on DVD. I will upgrade eventually, but I still collect DVDs. It's okay. And so seeing a lot of these you know the picture quality is not that good, and I always figured it's just a product of its time, it's a product of the 80s, but seeing this restoration of the Blu-ray, wow, I mean, I really want to get into more slasher Blu-rays. It was beautiful to look at. The sound quality sounded great. I watched it down in my basement where I got stereo speakers, and you know, it's kind of boxed in, you have good sound down here, so that was good. There were some cool special features. I actually watched one of them. It was a kind of documentary type style. I can't remember the name of it on here, but it showed just more in depth of the movie. I see there's a couple interviews, a couple behind the scenes footage, the actual trailer, so some things I like to check out, some image galleries. When a movie I really enjoy has all these special features, that really makes me want to check them out and learn more about it. So yeah, very good release. I definitely recommend checking it out. I know Scream Factory has a 4K of it, but for me, Arrow does a really good job, and I just like their cases more. I like the way they look more. So yeah, movie overall, a 4.5 out of 5. Overall, I'd recommend buying this. And yeah, thank you very much. Let me know what some of your favorite slashers are from the 80s, 90s, or whenever. Leave them down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Leave a like on this video. It'll help immensely. Thank you so much. Please come back. Check out more of my videos. I got a link to another boutique label review up here. I will have more going to that playlist soon. Have a great day.